Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my Ruthless Adventures. This is Solo Self-Found Hardcore on Ruthless mode, and I'm playing a Hierophant. So I'm level 86 on the Affliction League, and I was able to achieve rank 1 so far. I think the second place is 84, about level 84 and a half or something like that. And yeah, I'm playing to both maintain my rank 1 and to try to, upgrade my build. So I'm playing a Firestorm build, just like I showed you in the previous video. But right now, I'm thinking about going for different passives on the skill tree. So first of all, I was going for the Life and Armor, which is pretty good because it's, well, Life and Armor, which are very decent stats. And well, Life being the best one and Armor being one of the best as well. So I can kind of walk through mobs and not really get hits, a big physical hits. I can just ignore that. And my biggest issue right now actually is fire damage. So even though I have 81% elemental resistances, as you can see, I still take really big hits, which are fire hits from, let's say, the Flame Harbinger, which is the white mob, which is a mage that casts a fireball. And actually, all the fire casters in general deal really high damage. The Goldman that casts some fireball as well. Even the fireball that is like an ice shard or whatever that is, it's also really big damage. So elemental damage is the most dangerous form of damage right now for me, and hence why I swapped out some items here to. So first of all, I had to get a full armor set. Every piece has armor, both because of physical damage reduction, which is, well, through armor, and so I can get the 1% to all maximum elemental resistances through the mastery here, the armor mastery. So yeah, I'm investing into elemental resistances because I feel like if I am going to die, it will be probably either to chaos damage, because I have only 38% chaos resistance, or fire damage. I don't think I'm dying any other way besides maybe a DC, which is unfortunate. I've seen some people die to a disconnect or some glitched, Affliction League kind of mechanic, which I'm not doing. So I'm not doing Affliction League mechanic at all as of now, because I've heard that there are like detonate stats, so DD mobs on the forest, and it's very dangerous because you can just die to one shot. Doesn't matter how much life you have, because DD is really dangerous. But anyways, so I went for Call to Arms recently because I dropped an Enduring Cry, and the Enduring Cry, although I'm playing a Hierophant and I already have the minimum, which is 3 endurance charges, Enduring Cry gives me some extra defenses. So it gives me this buff of additional physical damage reduction. It also gives me life regenerated over 1 second. Right now I have a very low level Enduring Cry, which is only level 12 because I just dropped it, but as of now it's about 1300 life over 1 second whenever I pop it, and it's instant cast, which isn't an issue at all. I can just cast it without no cast animation, which is pretty good. I don't have to interrupt my Firestorm build up on a mob, for example, for damage. I can just cast every now and then Warcry in a dangerous situation. Let's say if I am getting hit by the Flame Harbinger mob, again, the fire damage guy, or any of the big damage mobs, I can just cast, Enduring Cry and get the extra life regeneration, so I can go through it and have to use my potions. So I decided to start running a Ruby Flask. Oh, Windows. Okay. So I decided to start running a Ruby Flask instead of a Granite Flask, because the big damage in this, recently in the past few years of Path of Exile, the biggest damage that I get is always from elemental damage. So the one that is the biggest issue again is fire damage. So I'm using a Ruby Flask to go to fight the fire mobs, of course, and but also the rare modifiers. Some of the modifiers are fire damage based, like the fire explosion. There is the fire orb that the guy shoots a flame ball or whatever, and you get you take huge amounts of damage. And I believe that detonates dead is also fire damage, maybe. I'm actually not sure, but All the biggest hitting spells basically are fire based, so Ruby Flask I feel like it's very important, and so is Quartz Flask as well. So Quartz allows you to get phasing, and phasing allows you to go through mobs. So I've dealt with situations where I was surrounded and I had to log out because the mobs were too tanky, and there was a rare mob with the, I think it was Flame Walk modifier or whatever, that he drops a burning ground that deals insane fire damage. Again, everything is, the biggest hits are always fire, and so now I have Quartz Flask to leave a situation where I am surrounded through phasing, and also Ruby Flask to survive a barrage of projectiles, fire damage, or any of the rare modifiers that are fire based. And so that's that. Now I'm going for the life and armor, I guess. Maybe if I get some regrets orbs, I can always respec what I'm doing right now. I got some extra damage on the tree, which is Amplify. I was not running Amplify with my Firestorm. I felt like it was pretty decent, but then Amplify actually gives me some extra clear speed, so yeah, I got Amplify. And yeah, and then I dropped the unique item here, which is kind of useless for my builds because the Intimidated modifier only applies to attack damage, unfortunately. But it does give me, reduced damage from critical strikes, which is pretty decent because there are modifiers that say that the mobs do extra critical damage or they always crit. So there is this modifier, crazy modifier, that it just says always crits. So the mobs always crit. So then this belt actually allows me to reduce damage taken from critical strikes by 30%. So that's pretty decent. And also, some life, strength implicit. It's a heavy belt. And all elemental resistances, which is pretty good as well. So yeah, that's that. What else did I change here? I think that these were the changes for day 4. So yeah, call to arms, and then the amplify, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So now I'm gonna, show you some gameplay here. I was doing, I think, a tier 5 or whatever, but right now I'm gonna do a tier 7. But this one rolled -8 to maximum resistances, so I have to re-roll this one. Let's re-roll real quickly. There we go. Monster variety and a chance to avoid elemental ailments. I think that's pretty good. By the way, another change. I dropped Archmage. So Archmage allows me to get extra lightning damage with Firestorm, but it also increases the cost of Firestorm, I believe. Wait, let me read here real quick. So party skills have base mana cost equal to 5% of unreserved. Yeah, so this increases the mana cost of Firestorm. And why is this good? Because, well, first of all, I get a lot of lightning damage through Archmage. It's a level 1 gem because I just dropped it, but when I get to level 18, 19, it will be pretty good. And so it increases the mana of Firestorm, and I want to increase the mana of Firestorm because I want to run Anger. So what does that have to do with Anger? So Anger is the aura that reserves 50% of my mana, but I cannot use Anger right now because I need to spend 200 mana to proc Arcane Surge. How do I proc Arcane Surge? I have to use basically Arcane Cloak, which pretty much one cast of Arcane Cloak gives me Arcane Surge on the spots because it's higher than 200 mana that I have to spend, and therefore it's an instant. Since I use Illuminated Devotion, which is this passive here from the Ascendancy of the Hierophant, this one. If I have the Arcane Surge effect, I get 50% reduced effect of non-damaging ailments, so Shock, Freeze, and Chill. And Arcane Cloak allows me to trigger that passive. And so in order for me to drop Arcane Cloak, if I want to do something else like Anger, which is 50% of mana reserved, I need to spend 200 mana. So how can I do that? I can do that with Archmage. So Archmage will allow me to increase the cost of my Firestorm to some amount that is, feels pretty good to just proc in 2 or 3 casts Arcane Surge for 4 seconds. So I'm gonna do a big change soon, which is to drop maybe Arcane Cloak, and then because I don't need to spend that much mana anymore through Arcane Cloak, I'll be spending through Firestorm, and then I'll activate Anger. So that's that. Pretty much it. And let's do a map then. So let's do Frozen Cabins. Yeah, it has monster variety, and avoids elemental ailments, which is pretty decent, and it's a tier 7. So let's do it. All right. So again, the playstyle right now it's pretty much the same as the past few days, which is just cast Arcane Cloak, Sigil of Power, and spam Firestorm. And that's that. That's the gameplay. And if I do get in a situation where I need to heal HP because it's you know, kind of rough, I can just activate my Enduring Cry, which is instant cast. So it's, you know, extra defenses per se and some life regen. And when I want to, you know, burst down a rare mob, I activate Sigil of Power. So right here, for example, this mob is actually weak. I didn't have to activate. But if I do find a fire resistant mob, for example, yeah, I can just activate Sigil of Power for extra lightning damage. And so lightning damage can shock, of course, and shock gives me some extra damage multiplier there, so it's pretty decent. So yeah. Unfortunately, my game is a bit laggy. I don't know what happened with Path of Exile, but the past few leagues I was running really smoothly, and then this league, for some reason, everything is just, it's, you know, choppy. The FPS here is choppy. And my PC is not the best PC. It's like a, you know, I have decent CPU and kind of not great GPU per se, but yeah, it's I think the CPU is a 11400 from Intel, 11400F or something like that. And so yeah, it's not the best CPU, but it's one of the, well, it's actually one of the best in some sense for lower end users, I guess. But yeah, 11400F from Intel, I guess it should be more than enough to run Path of Exile. But you know, Path of Exile is the kind of game that you can have everything of the best, and it's still not enough to get it to run smoothly 100% of the time, right? Even the streamers that I've seen, the streamers also have issues with FPS, so it's not just me with my kind of mid-end PC per se. But anyways, yeah, so this mob here is a bit tankier because he has a Molten Shell, I guess, and that protects from damage, I believe. So that's that. So yeah, I could have activated Ruby Flask and just face tanked him through the fire explosion, because Ruby Flask gives me 25% less damage taken from fire damage, and I have, as I showed you, 81% elemental resistances, so I can actually face tank fire damage most of the time with Ruby Flask activated, of course. Without Ruby Flask, it's kind of tricky, it's kind of dangerous. So since this is hardcore, I'm not gonna just test it out per se. So yeah, okay, Plateau, that's pretty good. I also wanted to show you my Atlas, actually. Even though it's not the best Atlas, I just crafted the Atlas like kind of randomly. I just, on the fly, I crafted my Atlas to have essences on the maps. So I have increased chance to find essences, because a currency to craft in Ruthless Hollow Self-Found is pretty difficult to get. So I need currency to craft my items, and so I thought about grabbing the essence passives in the Atlas tree, so I can have the, you know, craft rare items per se. So usually I pick up all the white items that I have interested in, like the Void Scepters, which have 40% elemental resistance, so the base is pretty good. I also pick up the pure, you know, armor based helmets, body armor, boots, and gloves. But yeah, to be honest, I need one piece of the set to be energy shield and armor, because I need 3 blues and 1 red, or 4 blues. And so right now, as you can see, I have a armor and energy shield gloves, which is a pretty decent row. It has life regen, and cold resistance. And it has 4 blues, which is pretty good on a armor and energy shields base. So hey, it's always decent to have full armor sets because of the +1 to all maximum resistances through the armor mastery. So yeah, that's that. Okay, so far no danger I guess. I haven't found a crazy rare mob, so that's good. I could do the trial there, but the trial, you know, in Ruthless you don't have the Eternal Labyrinth ascendancy points, so there is no much sense in running Eternal Labyrinth. I think it's too dangerous. So yeah, I don't feel, you know, fully confident that I can just easily run an Eternal Labyrinth. It's always kind of dangerous to do that. And there is no reason to do that anyways, because as I said, there is no ascendancy points to get from the Eternal Labyrinth. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, talking about the Labyrinth, I already said this in the previous video. I wanted the different version of the Firestorm, which is the Firestorm, the Meteor version, which only a single meteor falls down with that skill, I guess, and it deals a lot of fire damage. So I kind of wanted to test it. Maybe I will do that when I get bored of leveling. So yeah, it might be better for boss killing and killing rare mobs and so on. So I want to give it a try. All right. So this is pretty much the end of the map. 26 monsters left. And I have not killed this boss yet, so I have, you know, still to clear this map. Frozen Cabins. I think the boss here is the ghost guy from Act 1, I believe. So hopefully it's a smooth kill, let's see. My character doesn't have much damage, but, you know, single targets, but I guess it's good enough. Okay, where's the boss? Here it is. Alright. So let's see it. I'm gonna cast the golem here. Is this chaos damage? Hopefully it isn't. Is this fire damage? Might be fire damage actually. Is that righteous fire? I think it's righteous fire plus cyclone. Some crazy builds from this guy. This is like a Reddit build. Cyclone, righteous fire, and what is this? Zombies? Okay, I'm not taking any damage. Oh, never mind. That was 2000 or something? That's crazy. What was that? I have no idea, actually. Okay, that was scary. I took some 2000 damage there. But alright, so that's the first clear of Frozen Cabins. So yeah, that's kind of scary. All right, I forgot to show you that I dropped something pretty good, which is cast when damage taken on Ruthless. So yeah, that's a pretty good skill because I can try out a cast when damage taken Firestorm maybe when I get to level 20, and also I can I could play the same build but with automatic cast of Stone Golem. Stone Golem, which is, by the way, kind of an okay-ish golem, but I wanted to try the new golem, which is, there are what is the gem again? It's conversions, or I don't know. There is a new type of golem that gives you, they take life before you take. So whenever you take damage, they take a portion of the damage first, and then you take some of the resulting damage after the damage taken from the golem or something like that. So kind of kind of linking, sharing the life with the golem kind of skill. So I kind of wanted that golem, but I think it's a blue skill gem. So if I am to swap out this skill for another skill, it cannot be a blue skill gem, unfortunately, on the Labyrinth. It has to be a blue for a blue, right? I think that's how it works. So yeah, I cannot get the Transfigured gem. It's called Transfigured gem. So I cannot get the Transfigured. I think it's the Chaos Golem, which is a blue gem, unfortunately. But well, it is what it is. If I am to get a upgraded golem, it has to be either the Fire Golem, which I think is a fire, red gem, or a upgraded version of the Stone Golem, which is also, of course, a red gem. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say here. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. I got some extra Eldritch enchantments here, which did not hit anything good, just evasion. Unlucky. It could have been armor, right? So evasion and lightning damage, which is complete garbage, unfortunately. And enemy, reduced enemy stun thresholds, which is another garbage roll here on the Eldritch Essence or Eldritch enchantments, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it then. Running the Ruby Flask. I already talked about the Quartz Flask as well. I did not get anything better to upgrade my one-handed ones here. I wanted the same modifiers, but as a scepter, which gives me 40% increased elemental damage, much better than this flat cold damage there. That's that. So alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, my adventures on Ruthless as a Hierophant, you can feel free to ask questions and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll try to answer the questions, and that's that. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.